Hello, gardening friends. Oh my gosh, welcome to another live. It's another garden chat, and I'm having so much fun with these. So we've had, I can't remember now how many it's been, but I am loving connecting with the different gardeners from across not just the United States, but actually across the world, because I also did one with Sarah, who gardens in Australia. And if you missed that one, you need to go back and look at that because that was a very fun conversation. So today I've invited Nicole from my Carolina garden, and she is actually getting working on logging in right now. So that's exciting. We're sending her good vibes that it all works out well. But in the meantime, please let me know who's here and where you're gardening from. So it looks like we have Annie Joe's plants. So Annie, I love that you comment. And so is your name Annie? I'm just curious because sometimes the names on the handle aren't necessarily your name. So just curious, is Annie your first name? And Annie's gardening in Arizona. Um, very good. All right. If anyone else would like to let us know who's here, and I tell you who's here. Look, it's Nicole.
Yay! I figured it out.
Yes, I said, don't stress. This is not KCRA3 News. This is just us having a fun garden chat. So good. Nice to see you, Nicole.
Nice to see you too.
Yay. So first of all, thank you so much for accepting the invitation to have this little garden chat. I knew exactly, okay, let me back up. When I started like planning out the year, one of the things that I wanted to do was do these chats with and just connect with different gardeners from all over. And you came to mind because you already do these garden chats. Well, you call them the greenhouse chat.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, I
Well,
do.
Nicole, please introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Nicole. I garden in coastal North Carolina, and I hear a little echo here. So let me turn my computer down and tell me if you can not hear me because I did that.
Yep, we hear you.
So yeah, I garden in coastal North Carolina. So I'm zone 8B as compared to Diane's 9B, right? I
9B.
think that. So I've been gardening for 25 years. It has
Wow.
been a very long time, but I didn't always garden in North Carolina. So for me, what happened was my original gardening area was actually New York. And I started there. Well, let me back up for a minute. The whole reason I ever got into gardening was because of my mom. My mom always gardened, always took care of the property. She was like the kind of gardener that if my sisters or I were having a prom or any sort of like fun thing, my mom was like, let me update the garden and change everything and make this beautiful spot for pictures. And she always just took care of everything, made everything gorgeous. And I loved that, but I was not into gardening at that time. So I thought, all right, mom, like that's cool that you do all that, but I'm not really into it. Well, then I got married and got my first house, and boom, it was just like it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, it's time. We're gardening, we're doing it all. And that was it. That's when the bug hit. And like I said, that was in New York. So I gardened there for, I don't even know how long we lived there, maybe 14 years. It was a long time. And then we moved to coastal North Carolina. And it never even occurred to me when I moved that soil and growing conditions would be so different. Never occurred to me because New York soil was rich and luscious. It was full of nutrients. I didn't have to fertilize. I didn't have to do anything. So that
Wow.
I didn't know that people gardened like this. Came down to coastal North Carolina. Now I have sandy soil, which means our nutrients is like running right out all the time. And I thought, oh gosh, I don't know what I'm doing here. Learning curve started. Then, it took me a little while to fully understand everything I was doing. And then, here I am. So yeah, that's basically it. I probably told you more than you even wanted
No,
to know.
no, I love hearing the background of it. And so, you know what that tells me, Nicole? That gives me hope because right now, like I'm like you, like just excited and passionate about gardens and plants and things that are doing well. And yeah, my girls are not interested. They're just like, yeah, whatever, mom, you do you. They're not. So that gives me hope that someday that it just will like be there, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so too, because I have a teenage daughter and she said the same thing. She said, I couldn't care less about it. But now that she's an older teenager, she realizes like the beauty is there. Oh my gosh, our backyard is like a paradise. Her friends come over. They all think that. So
Mhm.
she's appreciating it more as she's getting older. We'll see. We'll see when they get their hands in the dirt. We don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. So growing up, my grandmother had a beautiful garden, the daffodils and she was a big fan of geraniums. I like vividly remember there was a huge tree in the backyard and like a storage shed in the back and these geraniums. And so I always associated geraniums with like, I want to say older, mature people. It was my
Right.
grandma's flowers, right?
Right.
And so
Right.
when I started appreciating geraniums, it was like, oh my gosh, there was all that beauty there all along. It was
Yes.
there all along. Yes.
Yes.
And then on my mom, like you, my mom's got a green thumb and does a great job with her garden. And so I've always helped around with that. And now it's yes, it trickles down. So that's good. That's really good.
Absolutely.
Yay. Yay. Okay, so how many children do you have?
Two. I have a
Okay.
boy and a girl, and they are both college age, so they both still live at home.
Okay.
And as I said, everyone really appreciates the garden now. When we first moved here, though, it was a dilemma for us because the area we live in, coastal North Carolina, is exploding in growth. There are so many people moving here, and it's been happening over the course of the last 15 years. And so we were kind of in the beginning of it. But the reason I bring that up is because a lot of the neighborhoods that are here are brand new, which means it's new construction. And a lot of the builders are choosing to cut down the trees and then build the neighborhood. And so we were not used to that coming from New York. We had so many trees. We lived in like a kind of a mountainous area.
Mhm.
And we thought, oh no, I don't know if we can possibly live here and not have trees in our neighborhood. How do we do that? But the other side of it was, in order to leave New York and come here, we kind of said to our kids, well, look, we're going to live by the beach. And one of the things we really, really want is to get a pool for the yard. So if we
Mm.
get a pool for the yard, maybe we have to pick one of these neighborhoods that don't have so many trees because the yards are level, and then we could do what we want with the pool. That's what we decided to do. And so that was also completely different for us to start with a bare, like blank slate yard. It was, ugh. And my kids were like, what do we do here? Like, there's no trees to
Okay,
climb.
so
Like,
just so I could get the visual, was it like bare land or was it like a backyard of weeds? What did you go into?
when they leveled it, they cleared it, they did sod it. So
Oh,
they
okay.
put the grass down and
Mhm.
they did minimal plantings around in the front of the yard. Um, and then the first thing we did was got a fence. And the reason we did that is because we knew we were getting a pool. And
Mhm.
so we literally had grass. They left everybody with one scraggly tree. And it was not a smart idea because it had been like not a forest here, but a lot of trees. And cutting them all down except leaving each property with only one worked out terribly because it gets very windy here and
Oh,
the trees are not strong enough to stand on their own. They're used to having all their best friends around them and everything. We took one tropical storm, took our whole tree, the one tree we had, right down. And that's what happened. They just literally flop right over, like the roots are all up in the air.
yeah.
So it's not, so we literally had nothing. So it started with bare. And then once the pool got in, then I was like, okay, I have a starting point.
Yeah.
I can work around this and start designing around it and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how it happened.
Yes, I love it. And I have to say that that is something that I think when one of your videos you talked about like a signature thing that you
Yeah.
see in somebody's you see a picture and you know whose garden it is. And
Yes.
yours, it's the swimming pool and that blue walkway in your
Yes.
secret
Thank
garden.
you.
That's for sure your signature. Love it.
Thank you.
I
Thank
love
you.
it.
Thank you.
And I think that, with all the tropical plants that you put around your pool, it just, the pool it highlights it, complements it. I don't know what complements. Does the garden complement the pool or the pool complement the garden? But it's working, girl. It's
I appreciate that very much. I think they both complement each other, and I feel thankful Two, because this is something I didn't grow up with, that we don't cover our pools here. So I have the blue water to look at all the time, even if it's freezing and we're not, swimming. But
Yeah,
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 so it's
yeah.
nice. It's
Very cool.
nice.
Well, let's see who's here. Okay, so we have Annie Joe's Plants, and we have Patty B. Patty B's from Mississippi. She also has a YouTube gardening channel, Patty B's Gardening. Nice to see you, Patty. Thanks for being here. We've got New Hampshire in the house. Um,
Ooh.
Budget Gardening Vita. Ooh, I like that name. Cute. Thank you so much for being here. Um, Nicole's family is watching from South Carolina.
Oh, my parents are visiting South Carolina. Hi, guys.
Oh, that's so cute. Thanks for being here, showing support and love. I love that. Okay, so Annie Joe, I had asked what her name was because sometimes the handles are not actually the name. So her real name is June. The name is in the memory of my aunt and uncle who lived in Massachusetts. Oh, I love that, June. That's so cool. I love these because you get to know people, right? And actually,
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
Bears Girl.
absolutely.
Hello. Where are you from? I want to say Bears Girl. Let us know where you're gardening. They lived on a farm, and I spent summers with them growing up. I have a garden and farm animal too because of them. That's beautiful. Oh, and look, Sarah, that's the Australian gardener I was telling you about at the beginning.
Aww.
So
And
I can
Monday
hear you reading
morning.
this, Sarah, or typing. Hi, Diane. Lovely to see you both Monday morning here in Australia. So that
Aw.
was a really neat conversation because they are totally on the opposite side. So when we have our summers, they have their winters. When we're doing winter, they're in summer. Just incredible, like a realization. But if you get a chance, please go check out her channel because and especially her Instagram. Oh my gosh, she has a YouTube as well. But this woman is the queen of dahlias. She has inspired me to try dahlias again. It's because of you, Sarah. I'm going to give it another shot. They're just so pretty. So Shauna Lee is listening from Minnesota. Hello, Shawnee. Oh, Shawnee Grows. And then, and Sarah. Sarah's the real Southern gardener. So Sarah also has a YouTube channel and beautiful two little girls and always so inspirational. She says, "Hello, guys. I usually don't make Diane's lives, but I'm here today. Love you both." Yes. Thanks,
Aw.
Sarah,
Hi,
for being
Sarah.
here. Okay. And then Joe Ellen Jones. Hi, Nicole and
Yep.
Diane. I'm in South Carolina where we just had a false spring. It'll be 30 degrees time. Okay. I want to bring that up
Yes.
because anyone that's from our area knows if you've gone to a garden center, the garden centers are jam packed with color. The tomato plants are out, all these things are out. But I caution you, I don't think we're done with frost. I think that there's still a high chance that we could get some frost. So if you're going to buy those things, be careful. Know that, especially like the tomato plants, it's just too soon, I think, in my opinion, to put them out. So be careful. And I would do this. So before I started like getting into gardening, I would go to the garden stores and go buy things, bring them home, plant them, and die. Right? They just wouldn't make it. Little did I know, I didn't even know there was a such thing as a frost date. It's like,
Right.
so all right, 25 days till spring. Somebody's
Yeah.
counting. I
Yep.
love
Well,
that. Yes.
she does keep me going with those, and we talk about it too, because with her being in South Carolina, I mean, I'm right at the bottom of North Carolina, so we are really neighbors, and so I feel that. It's been mild days lately. Like I have a bit of a cold going on right now because I think it's because our days are up and down and up and down. And she's right. Tonight's going to be 30 degrees. It said our wind with the wind, it's going to feel like 20. I mean, who wants that? After we just had 70 degrees, it's like we're all over the place. Um,
Yeah.
but our garden centers are not nearly as full as yours. Like I haven't seen tomato plants or anything like that. We do have some perennials coming out though, and the first time I saw them was about maybe 2 weeks ago now. And I thought, no way. Even though like dianthus was there and things that I know are cold hardy,
Mhm.
I thought there's no way I can plant these things right now. So I said to the guy who was working at the garden center, I said, can you believe these things are here? I'm so surprised. He said, yeah, I'm surprised too. He said, but I wouldn't put them in the ground. I said, I agree. That's what I was thinking. Well, sure enough, I ended up looking up each one of the plants that they had set out, including it says black-eyed Susan on the tag, but it's not the kind that I think of when I think of black-eyed Susan. It's like the really big Rudbeckia blooms, like really big orange sunbursts. So especially that one, it wasn't in my mind that I could possibly plant it at the end of February.
Right.
But when I researched all of them, every single one of them said it was safe to plant at the end of February here in coastal North Carolina. So just the soil temperature is more important to them than the air temperature. So as long as your soil's warm enough, and even though we've had a cold winter, our ground doesn't freeze. So that blew my mind that could happen. Now you
Wow.
could still get some frost damage potentially at the
Mhm.
top,
Mhm.
but these plants actually want to start rooting in the colder months. So it's just,
Interesting. Interesting.
yeah.
So that's another thing I love about your channel. You are so educational. I feel like you not only inspire, but you educate. And I have learned things from you. And I love that when, especially like the last video you did, I think it was on the perennials. I think every single plant that you went through, no, bang for your buck.
Oh,
The
yes,
bang
yes, yes,
for your
yes.
buck.
Yes.
I think every single plant that you named would be okay in my zone. I
Yeah.
was shocked. Yeah. So I appreciate all that you're pouring into us gardeners. Thank you.
Oh, well, I appreciate you saying that. So good. Because sometimes it's hard to know, like, if people want to hear these things, like, is it helpful? Or are they just like, yeah, I know, just show me the pretty stuff. It's hard to know.
Yeah, yeah, no, you do a great job. Keep it up. Keep it up. So Patty B says, I see your beautiful tulips. Oh, yes, my tulips. Okay, so it is tulip season around here. In fact, today I visited a tulip farm. And you were talking about the highs and lows and, the heat. I wore this
Yes.
sweater. I was dying out there. It was like
Oh,
60 some degrees, and I definitely was dressed way too warm to be out there. But the tulips are just really, really pretty right now. Really enjoying
so
them.
question for you with tulips.
Yeah.
Do you do your winters get cold enough that your tulips come back for you perennial, or do you have to start them
Okay.
each year?
So they're treated here as annuals.
Yeah,
As
here too.
and because it doesn't get cold enough, we have to do that stratification in the fridge. So I have a
Hmm.
refrigerator in my garage that I put the tulip bulbs in. That
Good
being
for you.
said, I want to say in 2018, between 18 and 20, I purchased some tulip bulbs from Color Blends. And when I picked the tulips, they were for the warmer areas and they were naturalizing. I picked that kind. I still have those tulips coming up every year. Yes.
Oh,
Yes. So, and they're coming up now. They're small. They're a lot smaller. They're just breaking ground. But last year they were huge. So I think it has a lot to do with the type of bulbs that you're getting too. But yes, we do have to refrigerate them here because it doesn't get cold enough.
yep.
Yeah. And do your tulips come back for you?
Nope.
No,
But
same thing.
and so I have the same thing as you, and I have had to refrigerate them in the past. But honestly, that's too much work for me.
I know.
I've decided I don't want to do that. Like, I just want the easy plants.
I have some that they're multiplying. They're coming up. They're so crowded. And I just yesterday I was walking around my garden when my mom was with me, and I said, "Those are saying separate me." But oh my gosh, that's a lot of work to go through
Yep.
and do all that, and then I have to store them. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna let Mother Nature do her thing.
I know, I know. Daffodils are great because those are bulbs that will keep coming back. But the tulips, I love them, but I just don't want to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I had bought some and I didn't make it in planting them, so I just put them in a vase and I'm forcing them inside. Yeah,
I get it. I
yeah.
get it.
Okay. So Bears Girl says, I'm Annie. Oh, she's Annie. Okay, so we do have an Annie on board. Beautiful. Oh, My Yard of Flowers. So this is Kelly. Kelly also has a YouTube channel. Oh my gosh. And her videos, she's really doing such a great job with all her editing. I see it. She had a vision of a formal garden, and now she's turning that vision into reality, and she's taking us through that process. Really neat. Thank you so much
Ooh.
for being here, Kelly. So it says, I'm so happy to be here. Love your live videos. Learn so much. Northern California in the Tri-Valley area. My Yard of Flowers YouTube channel. Yes. Thank you
Okay.
so much, Kelly. Okay. And then Vera, she's in Florida. Hi, Lovely. Okay. Hi, darling. Lovely to you girls. Big kiss. Oh, thanks, Sarah. All right. And then Sarah there. It is dahlia season. Can you believe it's dahlia season? Oh my gosh. So I have not planted mine yet. Mine are sitting in the garage right now. Okay, so Gardening Vita says we have a blizzard warnings up here in Northeast tonight, 1 to 2 feet of snow expected. Okay, so Nicole, let's talk about you got snow. Is that not normal for you?
That's not normal at all. Like I said, I've been here for it's about 11 years now. That is the second time we've seen pretty significant snow in 11 years, 2 times. But that one was the most we've seen. And most people here do not own snow shovels. And we don't have snow plows. The snow plows will plow the highways. That's it. If the snow doesn't melt, it just sits there. So we things shut down. There's no school. There's, people don't go to work, and that's just how it is. So yes, very
Wow.
rare,
See,
very rare.
reason to be careful with those frost dates because we're
Yeah,
having such unpredictable weather here
yeah.
towards the Bay Area, Davis, up north a little bit from me. They're seeing snow, and that's not normal. So
Mm,
again, just be careful with that frost date, especially this year. We're seeing
yeah.
a big difference.
Yep.
Hi Vita, waiting to see the Garden Happy shows. See if Garden Happy shows here. Oh, so she's talking about Garden Happy. That's Liz. Liz did message that she had something going on with her grandkids. So we'll see if she's able to join us. Annie says, hello, June. I love how everybody starts like connecting with each other. Okay, so Joe Ellen Jones says, hi, Nicole. Love your greenhouse chats, right? You bring happiness to our cold weather. This week will be torture having 2 weeks of beautiful 50 and 60 sunshine weather.
You got it, girl. That's right.
Yes,
Yes, it
yes.
is going
And
to
I
be
am
rough.
impressed. Okay, so your greenhouse. First of all, it's super cute, and I'm
Thank
glad
you.
that it survived that snow. Thanks to, I think you said your son took the snow
Yes.
off the top of it, so we thank him.
Yes.
But in your greenhouse, you were overwintering the cordyline.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I was at Costco and I bought one because of you. I was like, it looked so pretty in your garden. You inspired me, and now
Well,
I'm nervous to put it in my garden. I feel like I've got actually inside right now. Um,
do
is
it
it gonna be
because
okay?
yes, you it especially will be because you're in an even higher zone, a warmer zone than I am. And this is someone told me that the cordy line comes back as perennial for me in 8B. You're 9B, so you're definitely going to be fine. I was like, oh, are you sure? I'm a little bit scared. But what I did was my cordy line had let's just say like 5 little branches coming up out of it. If you clip those off, which you can do, and it promotes fresh growth and more bushy growth, you can actually take the stem cuttings, root them in water, or probably, I guess you can root them in soil too. I personally did it with water. Once I saw the roots come out, I let them come out enough and I planted it right into my ground to see. I figured I may as well test it on cuttings instead of buying a whole plant that I might lose.
Smart.
It absolutely came back. It absolutely came back. And so this year, another thing that I did was I have massive cordyline that I've been overwintering indoors for 4 or 5 years now. Well, this year I said, you know what? If I just tested it in the ground and it came back, I'm going to leave it in the pots without bringing the pots indoors for the winter finally and see what happens. So this will be my first year leaving it in a pot doing it, but the pots are huge and it's so cumbersome to bring it inside. So we're going to see what happens. And they're both by my pool, by like the banana tree grove, and there's one on each side, and I have all like the purple heart plant draping out of it. So they just became super duper massive, and the purple heart is perennial too. So I thought, forget it, I'm leaving them, we'll see. But for you, yeah, yours will
Okay.
be fine in the garden.
You think in the ground or should I keep them in a pot? What would you recommend?
I think either way you're going to be all set, because
Okay.
certainly you're not going to get, well,
So I'm more worried about the heat. You know, when it gets to 112, 115 and it fries here, that's what I just feel like it's gonna, maybe
yeah,
I'll put it in the shade.
I put dappled
Maybe
shade
I'll put it in the
even.
shade. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it. Anyway, I got it. And in the pot, there's actually 4 plants. So I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm going to separate. I'll probably separate them, but kind of keep them in the same area, just so I have like a
Yeah.
little clutter, not
Yeah.
clutter, little clump.
Yes.
But yes, so yes, you inspired me because when I saw that video of you dividing them, like, oh, that's so pretty. And then I
It
saw it
is
at
so
Costco. I'm
pretty.
like, what? It looked like
Yes.
an indoor plant to me.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, what is your channel so I can follow you? Okay. So, I don't know who you're talking about, but so Nicole, can you give us your whole handle?
Yep. Mine is just My Carolina Garden. And that's it. My Carolina
Garden?
Garden.
Yes. And it's the same whether it's on YouTube or Instagram. So go find her and
Yep.
follow. And
Yep.
I'm assuming because you're here on the live, you already know that mine's Diane's Garden Inspiration. It's the same thing on YouTube or Instagram. So come
Yep.
follow along. Okay, so this is the first time that I'm seeing Nicole. Oh, okay. So Nicole, there you go. There you go. Yes, you're gonna love her. She is so educational. Beautiful videos. Her. Do you do your own editing?
I do my own maybe 70% of the time. And then I have an editor and a filmer actually too.
Oh,
When I have like beautiful drone shots and stuff, I'm not the one filming them. And what I have found is at this point, I'm doing 3 videos a week. And when I do that, I work a full-time job outside of this. So I
mhm.
run out of time and it's a lot easier for me to let somebody else do the video and editing. Plus, that's someone else's skill set. So to me, I'm like, hey, if you're excellent at it, I would love to give you the money to take care of this and make it awesome. And you can see personality coming through, like with the editor, because I always, when he edits my work, people are commenting, I love this, I love this, I love this shot or this transition. And I think, wow, people really take notice to the editing. So it
Yes,
just makes
yes.
me smile. And so, yeah, I do a lot of it, but not all of it.
Okay.
And you do your own,
I
right?
do all mine, yes. So this year I'm a lot busier at work, so I've had to scale back. But I think in the summer, as you know, there's a lot more things to do and stuff. We'll see. But I'm committing to one video a week. If it ends up being more during the summer, then they're just bonuses.
Right.
But I do my own editing, and I love that part of it. So
I do too.
yeah. And then the drone shots, beautiful. So I got a drone for Christmas. I haven't played with it yet, but I'm excited to get it out of the box and go play with it. I just been waiting for the weather to be nicer and
Yeah.
have time to play with it. But it's like a kid
Right.
with a new toy. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah. And as long as there's no wind, I guess you're okay. Like,
Yeah.
messing around a little bit.
Right, right. So my Art of Flower says, I love this garden community. I'm listing and unboxing my garden supplies. Oh, how fun. Look at that.
Oh, fun.
Multitasking. I'm late to the seedlings party, but it's never too late in California. You know what? I have not started my seeds yet. It's on my radar. I was inspired by Steph from Hooked and Rooted. She has these zinnias that I'm excited to try, and I know, and I want to, start them by seed. So no, we're not too late. It's like right now. Now's a good time
Yeah.
to start
Yeah.
thinking about all that. Oh, not Kelly. My Yard of Flowers. It's not Kelly. I'm sorry. Tell me your name then. Okay, Annie. I have tried bulbs in the desert garden, but I have wonderful bearded iris that do
Oh,
really well.
okay.
I have bearded iris for the first time this year. So one of the garden tours that I did was Mary's Garden. And talk about an inspiration. This woman has gone through so much health challenges, and her garden is literally bringing her peace and joy. And she
Mm.
shared some bearded irises with me. So they're coming up. I saw them yesterday. They're breaking
Oh.
ground. Good information, Nicole. Yes, good stuff. Yes, Nicole, please. Okay, so we did answer that. Good deal. Okay. Trying just clippings first. Can you also show a picture of what the cordyline looks like? Oh, sure. I'll go get it. 1 second. This is the cordyline. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. And the more light it gets, the more fuchsia comes out of it and it turns like really hot pink. So
Oh my gosh. Yeah, super.
yeah,
Like I said,
it's
I have it
absolutely
inside
amazing.
right now, just because I'm too scared to put it out quite yet.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that was easy because it was like right there. So perfect. Okay, we need a video and editing live. Oh, to like do it. Oh my gosh, like a little class. Ah, okay, very pretty. Yes, I'm telling you, those colors again.
Yeah.
It just caught my eye, and then I was like, wait a minute, I think this is what Nicole was talking about. That's awesome.
Yep.
Okay, so Nicole, I had just a couple things that I had like written down. One thing I wanted to ask is if you were starting your garden all over again, what would you do differently? What would you recommend a new gardener to?
The first thing is, and this is what something I'm very bad at, is have a plan. I'm always the type of person who I want certain things and I want them right away, and I might start buying the plants before I really have a full plan in mind, but I would try to lay out certain areas for your gardens. Like this is just my garden, but I'll say names of gardens so I can explain what I mean. I have a rock garden, for example, a rock garden that has humongous boulders in it that I cannot lift or move at this point, but they have been brought into my yard. That had to get done in order to create the foundation for the rock garden, and then I could build around it. So I needed step one to be done to start doing the rest. But another idea or thought for having structure or something in place in advance, the planning part, would be my secret garden pathway, the blue boardwalk you mentioned earlier. Having that blue boardwalk down so then I could see I have berms or spaces on either side of the pathway that I could now fill up. This is the depth that I have. This is what would make sense here, etc. I feel like having that foundation or structure laid out first is huge, because if you just hop into the store and you buy, all these beautiful plants because they're colorful, or you think this is going to make, a great addition to your garden, but then you get home and now you're trying to figure it out, and where did they go? Time is a wasting, the sun is shining, these plants are drying out, like
Mhm.
it becomes a little bit crazy. You got to get the plants in the ground, but you're not ready yet. Your ground isn't ready yet.
Yeah.
So I feel like that. I feel like planning ahead is way smarter than just going for it and trying to figure it out after the
Yes.
fact. Be
Yes.
flexible, but try to plan.
Yes. No, that is good advice. But on the same note, that is great advice for sure. But if you haven't, it's okay because the garden is forever evolving and you can
Oh,
completely
yeah.
redo an area. It's
Yeah.
not set in stone.
Yeah.
So I have the back corner of my garden where I have the guardian angel, my guardian angel.
Yes.
I had
Yes.
a huge palm tree back there and I love the palm tree. It's underlit. So when it lights up at night, it's just so pretty. But that thing, first of all, the roots and everything were just taking over that whole section. So it's getting hard to plant anything in there. And then it was creating these like berries and the stuff, and I have to, have it cut. And I was like, okay, I know this is going to be a problem. So I'm going to address it now instead of having to cut it down later, because
Right.
it needs to be in a more open, more bigger spot as opposed to that little garden area. So I had that cut down. It's gone. And so now I feel like, oh, I got to redo that whole section. That whole
Yes.
corner could be revamped. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. I think I
Yes.
could like clear it all out and start fresh. So looking forward to that. That'll be
Yeah,
fun.
that is great when little problems, potential problems turn into an opportunity for something new. Yeah, I love that too. You get to change
Yeah.
things around, you just don't know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what do you have going on in your garden right now?
Huh. Currently, nothing besides cleaning things up, basically. Speaking of cleaning up, now is a great time to prune. Yeah, so I'm doing pruning, basically, getting shrubs cleaned up and that kind of stuff. Nothing really fun just yet because my last average frost date is still a ways away. So hopefully things will start to turn around maybe mid-March. I mean, I still have, like I said, I have a ways to go. So I will not be putting things into the ground really. I fought the urge to buy those early perennials that I saw out in the garden center, because even though I want everything, I am going to wait just because it would make me feel better. That's great if the plant's roots can survive at this point, putting them in the ground, but I don't really want to lose all the foliage or the flowers on the top. So I'm still going to wait. April is probably my favorite boom time in my garden because I have wisteria vines
Oh,
and they are gorgeous in like mid-April. So that's the first time I feel like my garden begins to shine. So I have kind of the next 2 months to really clean up and prepare for
yeah,
that.
yeah, that's good. The prep.
Yeah.
That's really
Yep.
good. That's really good. Um, so what is the best gardening advice that you have received?
Hmm. The only thing I can really think of, because this is something else that's hard, I think for everyone really, is to be patient
Mm,
because you want to plant a seed and see something sprout the next day, but it doesn't really work that way. So I think having patience to let things come together is huge. I know, like you were just talking about your garden space that is now going to be a new opportunity for you to do things in.
mhm.
And it would be lovely to have this whole vision for what it is and boom, put it together. And now everything's there, even within a week's time or something.
Right.
But ideally, you'll be able to work on it little by little by little, which is one of the things I say all the time. If anyone follows my channel, my favorite gardening quote is little
Yes,
by little, a little becomes a lot.
that's
I
perfect. Say that again. Say
believe
that
that
again. That's like a light bulb moment. I love your quote on that. Say that again, so just in case.
little by little, a little becomes a lot. We don't need to do it all at once, even though sometimes we want to. We want that instant gratification of a finished garden bed or whatever. But reality is not really that way, in my opinion. I mean, I feel like we need to wait for plants to mature a little bit or things to take hold. And,
Yeah.
as you said, your garden's forever changing. So your things move, things change, things die, and we have to keep adapting to that. So I think that's it. Kind of being patient with yourself as the gardener, as women who work other jobs besides working on our gardens. We
Yeah.
have to be kind to ourselves too and not think that we should be able to get it all done over a weekend, let's say.
Yes, yes. Give it grace. Give yourself some grace, both
Yes,
ourselves and the garden. Yes. Yeah.
absolutely.
No, that is great advice. I think that the patience, if anything that the garden teaches is patience, right? The garden teaches us to be patient because yes, we
Yep.
could just go buy a ton of plants and fill it all in and everything will be crowded and beautiful for maybe just, a week or two. Then they'll start, not
Yep.
doing well. So
Right.
being patient is a huge good tip. Good tip. I think one of the things that I learned when I started gardening was again back to I didn't even know what a frost date was or what a zone was. I remember going to the garden center and buying plants, bringing them home, and them not making it. And I thought, well, I killed it. I didn't do well. Well, as I
Right.
became more into it and learning more, based off of the gardeners sharing here on YouTube, and learned about gardening zones, I started going, and there's actually things at the garden centers that don't even they're not made for our zones, but they're there for and so I feel like getting educated on what your zone is and what your frost date are like those are just like the key basics that as a young gardener I didn't know about. So
Absolutely.
it wasn't me, it was the plant not in the right garden center.
Absolutely.
So,
That's right.
instead of knocking ourselves down. Now, sometimes there are things that you can push it. It might not be for our zone 9B, but we can push it. But you just
Right.
have to know that it's going to be sensitive. It's going to need
That's
some,
right.
care. One of the things that I struggle with, and I'd love to have because Steph from Hooked and Rooted, they have a beautiful Japanese maple garden, and
Yes.
I have tried several Japanese maples, and they just have not worked for me. But I think it's because of where I'm planting them. Maybe they're too much sun or whatnot because I know that they do well here because I see them in other people's gardens. But as a new plant, I have to be careful and
Yeah.
just give it a little bit more TLC to make sure
Yes.
that it makes it. So I'm going to try to get my hands on a Japanese maple and put it into one of the pots, a container.
Yes.
I can move it around. When it's 115, I want to have it in the sun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that. Okay, so let's see. Let's catch up on. Let's see. Okay, I think we're here. So ordered my seeds every year from Southern Seeds. They have a 35 minimum. Great flower and vegetable seeds. That's a beautiful cordyline, Diane. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm a chaos gardener. You know what? Beautiful chaos is what I say. Nothing wrong with beautiful chaos. Yes, cleanup is so much. 7 green trash bags or a yard. We had double our leaves do not compost. They harbor pests and disease in Northern California. I agree. Little by little, a little becomes a lot. So good. Phyllis is saying, great job, ladies. Lots of information. Oh, good. And Phyllis, you're a new name to me. So nice to see you. Where are you gardening? Let us know where you're from. Patty B, Nicole, little by little, sometimes seeing channels with perfect and abundantly planting new areas is totally unrealistic. You know, that is true. We do have to be realistic. The weeds are real. Things
Yep.
dying are real.
Yep.
Not every plant that you plant is going to make it. That's just a reality of it. You can move things. Just because something's not happy here, you can move it to another section of your garden, or to someone else's garden, you know, if it's just not, if you don't have the right space for it. And sometimes I think our taste changes too,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So I
Oh
think
yeah.
that there's stuff that I've had in my garden. I'm like, you know what? I really don't even like that.
Yes.
It's like, why am I giving this space? I'm like, get
Yes.
out of here, you know, um,
Yes.
and make room for something else. So again, it's okay. It's okay. We're forever evolving.
That's
And then
right.
the realistic things, yes, of course. If we all had, you know, gardeners that were helping us keep up our landscape and, you know, feeding and all that stuff, of course we could all have a beautiful garden, right?
Right.
Doing it
Right.
yourself, give yourself some grace.
That's right.
Camille is from Ohio. Hello, Camille. Nice to have you here. Okay, let's see. Abundant planting can happen with something as small as one seed packet. That's right, one packet of seeds. So true. So I one time bought 100 seeds of the ornamental cabbage.
Oh.
Okay, so I started, I think it was like 3 flats of ornamental cabbage. I had ornamental cabbage everywhere in my front garden. It was in my pots, in my walkway, everywhere. And then you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, and they're like $5, $6 each. So can you
Yes.
imagine my neighbors thought all of those cost me $7? I paid $7 for 100 flowering cabbage or kale, whatever it was. It was a
That
green
is
cabbage.
so good. That is so
Yes.
good. It is funny because certain things that grow quickly and abundantly, I laugh at that too. One of the things I talk about all the time is the lemon coral sedum. So it's like a nice chartreuse sedum, and I do love it. And literally, the way I got the very first one, I bought some other plant and it happened to have like a little piece of the lemon coral sedum in the pot, like by accident. And at the time, I didn't know what it was, but I thought, all right, well, it looks kind of cool. I'll just put it in the dirt over here and not worry about it. Next thing I knew, I had this yellow mound. And I was like, what? How did that happen so quickly? So I divided those into two. Two huge mounds came. And now, of course, I learned over time that the lemon coral sedum's the kind of thing like you can break off a piece of it. And if it falls into the ground, it could potentially reroot and start a new plant right there. And just as you said, you go into a big box store or whatever, and they're selling it for like $8 in this little thing. And you're like, I can make so much of that. How could it be $8?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
seed
Speaking of lemon
packets.
coral
Yep.
sedum, when it bloomed, when it flowered, I was like, oh my gosh, this thing even, not only is it a pretty green as a chartreuse in your garden, but I'm like,
Yep.
it blooms too? So
Yep.
yeah, that was a plant that surprised me. I was
Yep.
not expecting that. That was neat. And you're so good at propagating. You're really good at that. Like you do
I
that a
just
lot.
keep trying. I just keep trying. And then I just want to tell everybody, I was just putting together a container recently. And in the video, I'm using ivy as my spiller in the container. And I can't help myself. I'm just like, you guys, don't forget, ivy's so easy to propagate. Just do this. And so I end up just, I keep saying that stuff all the time because I almost can't get over it. If the things are that easy to do, I'm not going to share things that are super difficult or that I've had, severe struggles with and say,
Mhm.
oh, yeah, you can do that. Of course you can. Because I don't think it's easy. But the
Right.
things that are easy, oh, I want everyone to know so that you all don't have to go to the store and spend the,
Yes.
$8 or whatever.
Okay. So that being said, what is your favorite thing to propagate? What is
I think now this only started last year, but I think coleus is my favorite thing
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm in love with coleus now, and I never really had it before, just because it is mainly made for shade, and I really don't have a lot of shade. But now that I've created shade in my yard, and I started with just a few coleus plants, first of all, I realize how much they grow within one gardening season. So you can walk out of the store with a plant that's this big, but by the end of the season, we're talking like it's so much bigger. But besides that, as soon as I learned you can clip off the stems of that and root those in water, anything that roots in water, that's, I just want to spread the word to everyone because you can watch the roots basically emerge, in a clear vase or whatever. And I love that. But the coleus, because there's so many varieties,
Mhm.
every foliage, color, shape. Oh, it's wild. So I'm like, you guys, oh my gosh, just get like the tiniest things ever. And before you know it, you're going to have so much. So
Yes.
propagating coleus is probably my favorite thing.
Yes, yes. It's so dramatic, right? I remember
Oh,
I had the Wicked Witch from Proven Winners. I think that was my first coleus that I just happened to pick up a pot and put it in my front walkway. Oh my gosh, that thing just took off. And I didn't know that I
yeah,
could propagate it at that time. But
right.
that thing, talk about putting on a show. It was
Yes.
happy and it was
Yes.
so dramatic. It just brought so much
Yes.
attention to it. And because of the different colors on one leaf, you could have like three, four, five colors. Just it's a piece of art.
Absolutely.
Great
Absolutely.
recommendation. I love your passion and how excited you get. Like when you want to share things because I know exactly where you're coming from. I'll go somewhere and I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is so pretty. This is so neat. I want to share it with everybody.
Yes.
So I feel your excitement and passion. I love that. Thank you. Okay, so Annie says, I buy plants I see and then keep them in containers or fenced in areas because I'm also registered wildlife habitat. Rabbits and birds eat everything that
Uh,
isn't protected. Oh, yes. Yeah, unfortunately, that's not fun to have to deal with. Yeah. Deborah from Inspiring Garden, Georgia is a fun YouTube too. The more, the merrier. Absolutely. You know what? I am such a proponent of there is room for all of us here. We all have our own different styles. And that's what makes it so neat, right? There are things that, you might not like about my garden, but there might be something that you do. Or,
yep.
it's back and forth. There are things that I see in someone else's garden. I'm like, oh, that's not really not for me, but I'm still learning. I'm still grabbing
Yes. Oh,
information.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What is the name of that plant? The one that I showed, probably, that's a cordyline that multiplies. The name of the plant that multiplies. Oh, lemon coral sedum.
Oh, yes.
Lemon coral sedum.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
there we go.
Yep.
Someone answered it. Oh, I love it. I love how everybody's chiming in. Go for it. You can make coleus out of money. Oh,
Ah,
you can make coleus of money. My money. Oh, I love it. Are water roots different from soil roots? It seems like I heard Jim Putman say that. So I think that like when you're propagating, there are some things that if you just put them into water that will just, create the roots. But there's other things that need to be, there's that root powder and you have to, cut it. Like I'll give you an example, the hydrangeas, right? If you want to propagate hydrangeas, there's a process you go through it. I have a video on my channel about it. I created little domes. I just used plastic cups. But you have to create the drainage. I took the cup, put the cutting, and it has to be done at a certain time. So it can get a little bit more complicated. But these that we're talking about that Nicole's mentioning are literally just drop it in some water, look
yep.
for the roots, and then put it in your
Yep.
garden.
There are a bunch of things that root in water that I wouldn't say to keep in water forever, though. Even coleus would be one of them. Also, anything you're rooting in water, you want to change the water out at least weekly because you want to make sure there's enough oxygen staying in the water for the roots to get, have. But after they're in there for a little while and you see a nice amount of roots having grown, I'd say like 4 or 5 inches, then I would transfer it into soil. So I don't know if that helps clarify things a little bit, because like also begonias, like the cane begonia, so they have a very like nice fleshy watery kind of stem. You could do the same thing with them and root them in water. And I've done these things so many times, but I wouldn't keep my begonias or my coleus in water forever. I would root
Right,
them,
right.
let it be let's say 5 weeks or so, 6 weeks,
Mhm.
and then transfer them into soil and then watch them really thrive once they're in there. So,
Yeah, yeah, good advice. Good advice. Golden Dreams Coleus from Proven Winners is amazing. Oh, I have to look at that one. Yes, because
yep.
the only one that I tried from Proven Winners was that Wicked Witch, and yeah, so Golden Dreams Coleus. I have to look for that one. Thank you for that. Let's see. Disregarding things. Okay. All right. So just real quick, I'm going to do a couple rapid fire questions just to kind of get everybody. Please, everybody, chime in the chat and you answer things as well. So let's start with annuals or perennials.
Perennials.
Perennials. Okay, everybody, chime in there too. Um, I love perennials. Don't get me wrong, but annuals, I just love the fact that I can go and just buy that pop of color and come home and there's to plant the whole thing and everything. I just don't want too much of an area for annuals.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I can have like a whole garden for annuals, but I have specific areas that I want to keep for annuals because I love that process of going and purchasing them and coming and planting them and all that.
Yep.
Yes, yes. So Camille's got perennials, annuals, very good. Okay, spring or summer?
Spring. Summer's way too hot and you have to deal with a lot more things. I feel like spring is exciting, arguably the most exciting time in the garden. By the time summer comes, like I said, it's very hot. Here it's very humid. So I don't think you have to deal with humidity in California, but it is icky. And when you're out trying to do gardening work, no, 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 no. Don't love it. How
Yeah,
about you?
yeah. I would definitely go with spring because when it's 115 degrees out here, that's not fun. I
No.
have visited North Carolina before. I don't know
Ooh,
how far Raleigh is from you.
2 hours, but
2
not
hours.
bad.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. We were in that area there, but I went in the fall. The foliage was just beautiful, but it was humid. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I can't imagine.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Another vote for summer and summer. Okay. Ooh, desert winter. Oh, let's see if I got that. Desert winter. Interesting. Okay, and summer. Very cool. Are coffee or tea in the garden?
What do I want to drink in the garden?
Mhm, mhm. What's your favorite
Ooh,
beverage in the garden?
goodness. I probably coffee, I guess, just because I drink more of it, but I don't know. Tea's
And you
good
can,
too.
yeah, yeah, maybe even wine. Who knows, right? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Both have to have petunias in the summer and pansies in the winter. Oh, yes, yes.
Okay. Yep.
Petunias are fun. Yes, tea. We got tea, coffee, coffee, coffee early riser. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I can't
definitely.
wait for the weather to be nice and be able to sit out in my little bistro table, enjoy my coffee. It's around the corner. It's very soon. It's gonna
Around
be
the
very
corner.
soon.
That's right.
And good job on the water. That's what I should be drinking. Is more water. Should be more water. Okay, Nicole, what is your favorite gardening tool?
It is, I know it very easily. I think it's called a three-prong cultivator, which is a terrible name for a simple tool, in my opinion. But it's got literally the three prongs on this side, and then like a flat head, like a flat piece on this side, so I can do weeds and like pull up grass and stuff like that. Right? It's a hand tool, and I use it all the time. So in areas where I have like gravel but weeds are coming up, I use the three prongs to move the gravel out of the way. And that, I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it's
Yes,
just a
yes.
little hand tool. Yeah.
Okay. So,
I use it all the time.
and I saw one at the Dollar Tree. I was putting this
Oh,
gift basket together, and I was looking for a little trowel to put in the gift
yeah,
basket, and that tool that you're mentioning was there.
yep,
I don't
yep.
have one. I've never used
Oh,
one, and I thought, well, this
oh,
thing's kind of weird. Like,
yep,
well, now I know to
yep.
check it out. Yeah,
All the time, all the time.
that's
How about
awesome.
you?
For me, it would be my trowel, because one, I use it to plant my pretties, right? But also for weeding. I just go around, and now I have a pink bucket. I'm so excited. I got the Lowe's pink bucket, so I just go around with my little pink bucket and my trowel and get my weeds out and use it to plant pretty stuff too. So that would
That's
be that
cool.
would be it. And then, do you have irrigation or do you hand water?
I have irrigation. I only got it about 2 years ago. Changed my life.
Mm.
Anyone who has been thinking about it, do it. Um, it is not as expensive as you imagined. That was one of the things we also thought it was going to be extremely complicated. It's in the hundreds of dollars for the whole shebang, not in the thousands. And my husband and I did it together. And we did it over a couple of days, set the whole thing out, literally changed my life. It would take me, at least an hour and a half of watering every single time I
Mhm.
had to water. And like I said, our summers are wretched with the humidity and stuff. So dragging a hose around and having the hose kink all the way over there, and you're all the way over there, and
I'm
um,
envisioning you with a hose across the pool.
and yes, and then the hose is dipping in the pool, and I'm like, I got to
That's
pull it
a
out of there.
visual.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that it was literally life changing, and I wish I had done it sooner. I just dragged my feet because I didn't realize how easy it could be. And so it's drip irrigation is what
Drip.
we
Yeah,
have.
me too. So I have a few containers that I do have to hand water, but everything has to be on drip. One, with working full time, and by the time you get home,
Yes,
yeah, and with 115 degrees, these babies need to have water, two, sometimes even three times a day. So
absolutely.
that would be too hard. Okay, so Annie Joe's plan says, Nicole, my son just broke my old one while he was helping me. Oh, well, you're at
Oh,
the Dollar Tree. Go grab one. I saw them
mm,
there. She has a pink bucket too. It's the little things that make us happy, right? Nicole, the best, and hose link too. Yes. Yes, like the hose links, the Vigo Garden hoses, those are a game changer. The retractable hoses, love that stuff. Love it. Okay, so I want to thank everyone that joined us here today and kept the conversation going. Nicole, thank you so much for your time and for sharing your knowledge and inspiration with all of us, and for your time here today. Thank you.
thank you. I appreciate you asking me.
Yeah, so fun, so fun. Something else that I noted, every video when I finish off with happy gardening, and you finish off with.
Happy planting.
I thought, oh my gosh, it's so yeah. So two peas in a pod, right?
Yep, that's
So that's
right.
how we're going to finish off our live today. I want to thank everyone that joined us. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate all of you. Let's keep growing this community. When you watch our things and like and comment and all that good stuff, it really does help us. But we're here for you. We're thankful for you. And so thank you for being here. Until next time, happy gardening.
And happy planting.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.